Okay, hey, Sarah. This is probably an easier way to do this. Um, Basically, we're looking at a whole world destruction. No, not everything is going to be okay. No, you're right. They're not going to warn us. Eric is correct, and I'm not being like biased, whatever. But Eric is correct. Hush Puppy is not. In general, obviously they're both saying things are coming, but one has actually looked into things and found the facts about the trinary system and all the other electromagnetics, where the other is just repeating what he's heard from other channels. And based on all the other channels that I watched Hush Puppy for a while and tried to tell him about the moon and the moon rolling, and well, it didn't go well. Guess who's talking about it now. Yes, we're talking about tidal waves due to magnetic braking of the Earth, because the Earth is going to do some things. And I'll get to that in a second. Pole shift already happened 10 years ago. That's why the moon is now rolling, because the Earth is tilted on its side. Instead of north and south pointing essentially north and south, they're pointing east and west. No, one of the poles is not facing the sun because that hemisphere, both hemispheres are still having night and day. Earthquakes have been increasing for 10 years due to induction heating of the planet, due to our other magnets around us. Therefore, we're seeing closed field lines on the GOES satellites, which is why we're looking there on ISWA. Those closed field lines never happen unless there's a reason. Other planets or moons behind our magnetic Earth. We've proved that in the ferrocell. That energy is coming from the bow shock that Earth is using to create those closed field lines. So therefore, the core is warming, so your oceans are warming, the increased volcanic and earthquake activity and everything along with crustal shifting and rifts and derailments of trains and waterline breakings and cracks forming everywhere. That's all induction heating. Energy through matter creates electricity. Electricity through matter creates heat. Overload and extension cord. And I've gone over this in many of my videos. Not knowing about anything, we were all there once. None of us are astronomers. None of us are PhDs. We're all learning this. We all learn from scratch. We just all did a lot of us. Some of us have done the full work. Others are on their way, and others just want to be spoon-fed. And I don't have time for that. I got time for people that are being serious and learning, because my time is short as well. Alright, so what's going to happen, based on what we can gather from the stone carvings and the ancient texts and Sumerians and prophecies and everything else, possibly even communication with Earth itself, who we call Mom, which if you followed Eric, you would know that. We live in a trinary system, and their other two suns are Ra and Horus, aka the blue and red Kachinas. So they are on the cycle that everyone talks about, and everyone talks about as planet Nibiru or planet X. Well, that's the distraction story. Have always been in a trinary system. The Egyptians and the Mayans and all the other old civilizations talked about it. That's why they hid magnetics from us, the true field of the magnetic field, and basically obfuscated magnetics or scalar physics, so that we will look at other things like quantum physics, even though that's just overcomplicated scalar physics. Electromagnetics governs our universe, So that is where we are looking for everything. Every atom in your body and every atom in existence is a magnet. So therefore, everything is magnetic chains. Polarity. It simplifies everything down. All science has been complicated and explained to a sense so that most of us, we have to rely on scientists to tell us, therefore they have knowledge is power. Well, that's the thing here. Knowledge, we say knowledge overcomes fear. Fear for what people are like you are learning about. Well, once you have the knowledge, you don't fear it anymore. We are welcoming it, and not in the sense of destruction, but what we have understand and figured out what our purpose here on this planet is. We've learned our history through the Sumerian text, at least is that far back, the cuneiform, what has happened in the creation stories and electromagnetics. We have the governing frequency, 1748 hertz. We've basically proven unified field is no longer a theory. Just with that alone, knowing that 1748 hertz and knowing that everything is connected, because every atom is a magnet, and with every electromagnetics you have instantaneous action at a distance. So we know everything's connected. The field is real. Like in Star Wars, may the Force be with you, and how they've communicated and did all that stuff is real. Google has nothing on the field as far as information. YouTube videos are just supplements for everything. We give YouTube videos a lot because it's a lot of people, they can go back and they can, at their convenience, and then actually start doing research and looking into research papers and medical documentation, and the answers are not on Facebook or YouTube. YouTube is a supplement to the actual research of using Google and finding this stuff. Because during this system, what's going to happen when Ra and Horus in the perihelia event, Horus is going to supernova. And that is what we are talking about with electromagnetics and scalar physics and stacking magnets, because we can inherit Earth's energy because it is a magnet, just like our heart is a magnet, same kind of magnet. And once you understand that, it's quite relieving in the sense that it's actually very simple. Electromagnetic universe, you pay attention to magnetics. So Ra, Blue Kachina, is our original sun. Earth was created under that sun, blue spectrum. That's why when you have blue spectrum suns are higher energy. That's why life on this planet used to be larger. The dinosaurs, the plant life and the trees back then. We have evidence of it here now with a lot of the mesas out in the southwest of the United States. They look like tree stumps. And surrounding areas you can see branches and tree leaves that are a leaf that's larger than the Empire State Building that's been petrified. Life on Earth was larger, as we know, but that was because Earth was on Ra. Earth was switched from Ra to our current sun, Set, which is a lower energy sun, so therefore less energy, everything shrinks. We had the skeletal past of giant humans. Well, those were times of more energy. The giants are not something I'm familiar with. I think the giants were too recent. So they're more, maybe just another genetic aspect of the Anunnaki. Because, so basically in this event with Ra and Horus is we will switch back to our original sun, Ra. Therefore, it will wake up our DNA. We'll have more energy. We built the pyramids and all these monoliths with our hearts and our electromagnetic tools that we are capable of. That's why no one can ever replicate the pyramids again. because we don't have that technology due to we're on the wrong sun. Because magnetics can lift anything. So to switch to another sun, we have to switch polarity. So that means the Earth has got to slow down and stop its spin and spin the other direction. Well, what's going to happen with that? Your oceans. West Coast is going to get hammered on every continent, because when the Earth does finally stop spinning due to this process, the water is going to keep going. That's why we keep saying, get the hell out of the West Coast. Get out of California. Simply because of Long Valley Caldera, you got Yellowstone, and the oceans that are going to come from west to east all over the globe. And we've seen that evidence. Strange tides, water's going out. The Earth's spin, even NASA has said the Earth's spin is slowing. They blame the moon, but it's not. We know it's magnetic braking. You understand electromagnetics, all these things fall into place. Well, I did not say hello and welcome to my channel like I usually do, but I thought this was going to be a Facebook video. But at this point, I think I'm just going to put it on YouTube, because I've gone over a lot of it. All that other stuff, stellar core, HARP, DO. I'm actually working on a video for the group, but DO, CERN, gravity wells, system trails, stellar cores, camera anomalies, religious text, planets in our atmosphere, CIA, Israeli, December 21st. Sun and moon simulators, FAA webcams and webcams. Those are all distractions or half-truths. That's part of the machine to keep you confused, us confused. But when you learn electromagnetics, you easily filter through all that stuff and realize that's all just BS. Planet X, Nibiru. Yes, Nibiru is coming along. Nibiru is one of Ra's or Horus's planets. But its original name was Heaven. And I mean heaven in the Bible. They handed down priesthoods and bloodlines from the planet Heaven, aka Nibiru, to Earth. The Anunnaki still run this planet. 6 regions, each run by one Anunnaki, 6 total. That's the cuneiform readings. Well, the only way to really get the cuneiform stuff is YouTube videos that are the books that are out, but a lot of people are like, I love YouTube videos of, and I'm going to make a post. It would be the Lost Book of Enki, the Gods of Eden, and the End of Days. And specifically ones that Josh Reeves has commented because he does a good job, because he's a good researcher. And I don't care about Sitchin or Branley or whoever the author of those books are. It's about the information. That's somewhat of our history.